Ladies and gentlemen, don't let the dog barking fool you. The dogs are barking to get in this chat. It is lightning round. It is Kevin Tompkins. It is Andrew Cooper. Britt Flinn will be joining us from ESPN Chattanooga in just a couple minutes. But Coop, I keep saying this and putting this in like a fractional kind of point of view, but we are 1/6 through the NFL season.
I believe that's correct, but not a big math guy. We'll have to double check it. Guys, please do the math at home. Let me know if that's right. Sounds right. Yes, my dog is barking. What I've been doing is I have my wife, I ask her to buy something every single day and to put in the notes, deliver it right at 1:00. And without fail, she seems to be doing that. So that dog is a mainstay during the show.
That is awesome. The dogs are barking. We are happy to be here. Of course, we are through week 3. We got a lot to talk about here. But let me say, I had a pretty good week as far as my personal takes. And of course, we have a lot of things through this NFL season that, a lot of stuff we didn't see coming here. Of course, like I said, Britt will be joining us in here, but we got so much to talk about. I just want to get right into it because it's exciting stuff. Like, the Dolphins put up like 70 points, and I want to say they were playing like, Tulane or like Rice or something, but no, they're playing the Denver Broncos, which I guess maybe there's not that much of a difference, but like 70 points in this day and age in the NFL is, I can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. And the funny part is that, that he didn't kick the field goal. They could have kicked the field goal to set the all-time record. And everyone's like, oh, that was nice of him to not embarrass the Broncos, as if they weren't. That saved them from being embarrassed. If they had kicked that field goal, then the Broncos certainly would have been embarrassed. But because they didn't, not embarrassing at all, right, Kev? What happened? Losing by 50?
No, not at all. Anytime as a former ball boy, the Denver Broncos, that you can put up 70 points on your former team, I think you got to do it. So it was nice to see a little restraint out of Mike McDaniel, I suppose.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart. Really. I mean, the thing is, anyone that watched that game, like, you couldn't even accuse them of running up the score. I remember as a Patriots fan watching a game at home in the snow against the Titans. The Titans were not ready for the snow. They were not ready for winter Tom Brady. And the Patriots did run up the score. And, Randy Moss, I think, caught like his 4th touchdown pass in like the 4th quarter. They won like 57. That game, I could see people being like, oh, yeah, you ran up the score. They did not run up the score, man. They took the starters out. They put Mike White in. Mike White threw like a 50-yard touchdown to Chosen Anderson, who was called up off the practice squad like that morning. Like, they just couldn't stop anything, right? They took, Raheem Mostert had 4 touchdowns. They put the rookie in there. He just he couldn't be stopped, right? So it was like, you can't even blame them. You can't even say, oh, they ran the score, because they didn't. The Broncos could not stop a damn thing.
Right. In the 4th quarter alone, like, Achane caught that 10-yard pass, but then Robbie Chosen, 68-yard touchdown. And Achane had a 67, like, this team can score at will. It's not like they're running like 12 play, 13 play, 14 play drives. This offense is so explosive that, they could just rip this off at any time. That's how you get to 70 points.
The craziest part of the whole thing was that Achane, and he said he just to confirm, he came out and said he wants it pronounced Achane.
So difficult, because we've been saying Achane the whole time.
He said Achane before.
Right. Well, it's like the Tanyan, I want to be called this, and he finally developed the chutzpah to go out and say it and be like, all right, I just want to be called this now.
Dude, the worst one ever was Zach Parise. So Zach, do you remember that? He played
for hockey, right? Yeah.
Yes, he played for the New Jersey Devils, and for like 5 years, he let everyone call him Zach Parise. And especially all the guys in New Jersey were like, hey, yeah, Parise, hey, how you doing? And then he goes to Minnesota, and he goes, by the way, since it's a fresh start, I want to let you guys know, everyone's been saying my name wrong the entire time. It's Parise. And the entire world was like, okay, Parise. Like, I'm sorry, dude, but it's too late, man. Yeah, at least Achane is getting out in front of it. But the crazy part of that game is Achane also had another like 30-yard touchdown run that was called back on a holding. Like, every time this guy touched the ball, he was just untouchable, man. So now we're in kind of a weird spot with him and Mostert and Jeff Wilson coming back. But I mean, he was so electric that you can't ignore it. You can't leave him on the wire. And we'll get to that today.
Right. And I, recorded my target report bullet points video that should be out later on today. And that was the hardest part is not dissecting that backfield. It was pronouncing Achan's name correctly.
Yeah. Brutal, dude.
Tough
Ninja
for
Chicken.
all this.
I love when Ninja Chicken's such a great name, dude. And that Miami KC game, that's going to be a lot of fun, man. So I have yet to go to Germany. I've been to Europe. We did the honeymoon. Hey, there she is, our angel.
Hi, guys.
There she is. We've missed you.
I know. Sorry, I had a little bit of a technical issue. Kept me up a little bit. So sorry for
we've been talking about
fashionably late.
Having the computer off for a week, dude. You probably had to fire it back up, clean the dust out of there, dude. What's happening?
Windows update action going on?
Yeah, it definitely is an update. We had that issue on Sunday with the sound card, and it wasn't reading any of my devices. So, but I'm here now. I'm good. Let's talk about some football.
I looked down in the chat and I was like, who is putting this inappropriate comment in?
I know. I mean, I appreciate Sellers.
I realized who it was, and I was like, okay.
Sellers, I appreciate it. Just keep it in the text, okay?
Yeah, just everyone in the chat know that's our man. So Ninja Chicken, don't be dropping stuff like that, but he's allowed to drop that.
Yep, he's the one. He's the one person
He's
who's allowed.
So we were talking about the Dolphins, Britt. I don't think there's not much you can say, I guess, more just how absolutely just they obliterated fantasy this week. But, we got to get your thoughts here.
Ruined DFS.
It's so ruined DFS. Literally everything was completely blown up within even the first 15 minutes.
I had an 185 point lineup and it was uncompetitive. What are we doing?
Yeah, it's kind of insane. I don't know so much, and I'm going to be Debbie Downer here. I don't know so much if that was based on Miami's offense or just how bad Denver's defense was. They had 24 missed tackles. I mean, that's just inexcusable. Completely inexcusable. Sean Payton coming out and then being all aggro with the reporters after the game, and then now backtracking it and saying, well, no one's getting fired this week. I'll tell you what, if you lose to the Bears, somebody's getting fired. There's all 4 remaining 0-4 teams face off against each other this week. Somebody in some organization is getting fired.
Yeah, no question, dude. And I'd say I saw it on when you talk about the broken tackles and just how the Broncos were completely defeated. I got this picture here just sums it all up. Look at the Broncos lying all over the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Broncos on the ground as Mostert takes it for a touchdown.
This was not storming of Normandy, by the way. This was a football.
That was supposed to be a football team there. So yeah, pretty ugly out there.
And I won't even. That was so crazy. I won't even mention the fact that you're on light mode right now.
On my desktop.
What are we doing?
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock dude. All these shut-ins with the dark mode, man. These latchkey Harry Potter under the stair. God,
I resemble that remark.
Just open the windows every once in a while. It's okay to have your computer on daytime screen. I have that thing set where it automatically dims it in the morning and at night.
See, I use light mode for an entirely different reason. It's because I'm a vampire and I'm pretending that I'm getting vitamin D from my computer screen.
You get sustenance from it. Yeah, exactly. We need it.
I cannot do light mode under any circumstances. So I guess I am a creature of the night. Will stay that creature of the night. But the chat is hopping today. Of course, we got Toronto Dave, Scampers, Fernando. We got some Ninja Chicken, of course. We got some questions in here too. Let's hit up those and we'll continue on here. How far off is Pacheco from Ramondre? Thinking about pairing Pacheco with Dobbs or Christian Kirk for him. Smart. I'm fine with Ramondre. I'm a little concerned about how much Zeke took as the world's preeminent Zeke hater. He looked much more efficient than Ramondre did last week. I can't even sugarcoat.
I tweeted this out. I swear. If you are slow out there or looking slow, just choose a lower number. The lower number you wear, the faster you look. Zeke, number 15, Zeke Elliott is 100% faster than all previous iterations of Zeke Elliott. And if he drops down to number 7, forget about it, dude. Speed off the charts.
talk about going 0. But no, I don't think that I would get rid of Pacheco or either Dubs or Kirk for Ramondre. That split is still very real.
Yeah.
I know that Pacheco's workload was a little bit skewed because of the Jerick McKinnon explosion game that we had on Sunday, but he's still going to be a huge part of this offense. I like Pacheco a lot more than I do Ramondre, especially with the issues that the Patriots have had on their offensive line.
Yep. And then George in here. And then also how much fab for Tank Dell, 25%. Boost that up. I think if you you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube here with Tank Dell.
There are 2 players on the fringe of greatness, right? So Tank Dell is already a guy that you can start, but we look at the great quote unquote slot wide receivers of the league. And when they take the step to greatness is when they go from being a pure slot wide receiver to a full-time player. CeeDee Lamb as a rookie is a perfect example. Because he was a rookie and those are the rules, he was coming off the field for Michael Gallup and Amari Cooper and was playing a part-time share. Even then, he finished as wide receiver 24. The next year, he flipped and he became the full-time player where you play slot in 3 wide and go to flanker for 2 wide. Tank Dell and our own Britt Flynn's bestie, Josh Downs, both those players, I think, if the moment that they get that role, it may be this year and maybe next year, the moment they get that role, they're going to be household names. And Tank Dell is already so explosive with the snaps he has right now. And then honestly, Josh Downs to a certain degree as well. You can start them now, but just know that now is probably the last time you can get them in Dynasty before they become full-time players. And then it'll truly be wheels up.
Yeah, I think Tank Dell might have already taken that step forward to full-time player because if you look at the snap division, Robert Woods was out there out wide all the time. Tank Dell was out there all the time. And then it was Nico Collins and John Mechie actually coming in and out for one another. Tank Dell was still out there. And we heard about how he and CJ Stroud had become like best friends at the combine, how CJ Stroud lobbied heavily for Tank Dell.
Why couldn't we get this like 3 months ago, by the way?
I've been telling you guys. Go back on fantasyalarm.com to an article from like late April or even early April. I have been telling you guys that Tank Dell is the man. And he just so happens that he is.
That's the thing. Brandon Huffman said it as well, that like certain people worried about size and all this stuff. First and foremost, you have to ask yourself, are these guys going to be NFL caliber players? And he mentioned Josh Downs by name. He mentioned Bryce Young. Tank Dell fits that mold as well, where it's like, before we can even worry about 40 time and height and all that, are these guys actually going to be NFL caliber players? Because like a guy like N'Keal Harry checked every box in terms of size and speed and production and everything for college, but he just doesn't have that special something, that extra something that determines whether you're going to survive at the highest level of football or not. Whereas that's the first question. And it looks like Tank Dell is surviving here. And to Britt's point, with this team, they use a fullback, and that's what holds back the wide receiver 3. On the very first play of the game this week, they rolled out there with a fullback, and it was Robert Woods and Tank Dell on the field, not Nico Collins. So, hey, maybe Nico's a bit of a sell high. We'll have to see. In the world I want to live in, I would love for Robert Woods to just go away and have Nico Collins, right? So you have Dalton Schultz with his foot tethered to the line, Nico Collins, 6'4", with his foot tethered to the line, and then Tank Dell can move all over the place and go in motion and do whatever. And you don't have to worry about him getting jammed. You don't have to worry much about his size. That's the world I want to live in. But Robert Woods, of course, a veteran, is going to get some play.
Yeah. And in the world I live in, I want Andrew Beck returning every single kick or punt.
Oh, my God. The best, dude.
That was like peak fullback season was Andrew Beck returning a kickoff for a touchdown.
I said it
was a squib kick that was
yes. Yeah, I said it on my show yesterday where it's like, no matter what position you play, and everyone's done this to some degree in their life, where you just sit there and you're like, and you daydream about like, well, what if this happened, right? You're like, you're like, what if this person fell and I caught them and I saved the day, right? Like, you know what I mean? Or like something like that. Like when you're a fullback on the kick return team, every time you get out there, of course you're thinking, okay, I got to block this guy. But in the back of your mind, you're thinking, well, what if they kick it to me and I like run this guy over and I score like an 85-yard touchdown? And it happened for Andrew Beck. Dude.
Did that surpass the Dan Connolly 67-yard kickoff return? I think that's the big question.
I think it has
against
to
my
be.
Packers.
Well, that's the thing is, Britt, I want your input on this. So on one hand, Andrew Beck actually scored. Dan Connolly was tackled at the 5. If I could go back and change any play in NFL history, it would be to get Dan Connolly in the end zone. But on the flip side, Dan Connolly is a guard, right? And Andrew Beck's a fullback. Very the distance, the odds of Dan Connolly ever getting the ball in his hands at all are like nothing. So I don't know which one's the better play, Britt.
I mean, I think Andrew Beck has to be right. Like
degree of difficulty.
And literally record setting for the heaviest player to ever run a kickoff back. I mean, it was so great. Now I am mad at him personally for completely taking away a possession that Houston could have had that would have led to CJ Stroud having more passing attempts. But that's here nor there. The play was amazing in a vacuum, and it needs to be celebrated.
Yeah. So Andrew Beck plays at 255. Dan Connolly's playing weight was 310. So, oh my God, dude. And just the way he was holding the ball too, like straight up and down like this, dude, like unbelievable. Dan Connolly's but I think you got to give it to the touchdown, Britt. I think that's it. It means everything. Those last 5 yards mean everything.
Yeah. Let's hit up some of these questions here. Let's get back into here. Sell Moss before the possibility of Taylor coming back. This is like one of the things that I'm having some trouble with because we've seen Moss completely dominate the Colts. You know, obviously Trey Sermon has worked his way into, but it's primarily Zach Moss here. And I don't know if Taylor's going to be playing another down for the Colts. I can't see him capitulating on something like this, having already, you know, I know he's technically on IR now, everything, but I can't see him capitulating here.
Here's the real problem. The Colts are 2-1. If the Colts were 0-3, now it's like, yeah, just trade Jonathan Taylor now. But they're in first place in that division. So it's almost like maybe you can convince Jonathan Taylor to come back. And the other thing is, what are you going to get for Zach Moss? Everybody knows the deal, you know? So what do you think, Brett?
I'm concerned about JT's ankle and the health because the timeline of how this injury is played out makes me think that it's much more severe than we've been led to believe. I mean, that ankle injury should have been, 6 to 8 weeks. And then it's a back thing. And then it's a personnel issue. And I'm concerned about what's going on with my contract, et cetera, et cetera. Like there are just so many kind of red flags lingering. I want to say on the face, yes, you sell Moss, but my gut tells me that you need to hold on to him.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at because with so many running backs going down lately and, with so many committees, like Moss is like the one true guy that I think is almost I shouldn't say committee proof, but he's the closest thing to it, I think right now. Obviously, oh God, it's tough. I don't know if I could sell Moss right now. I think if you got him, you just have to put him in your lineup and kind of just.
Yeah. I just think nobody's buying him. Nobody's buying him either.
Right.
Right. Nobody's going to pay the price.
Nobody's going, I got to go get Zach Moss.
Right. Exactly. So just hang tight with him. Just hang tight.
And in the chat, I've got Fields and Bryce. I'm somehow 3-0. Deshaun is on the wire. How much fab? I mean, I think Bryce Young's a drop right now.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think you can really kind of saddle him. I mean,
how'd you even end up with Bryce Young on the team? Is a single quarterback?
You probably listen to me, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, it was worth a try with Bryce Young, but I just don't see a world where he just completely sets the world on fire and becomes a QB1 in single QB leagues. So I'm going.
Why does Andy Dalton keep getting away with getting like 400 pass attempts every season?
Because he's the red rifle dude.
How does he keep getting away with this?
I know, man. I'm telling you, and Andy Dalton's not going anywhere. Like he's going to be
that offense functioned.
He'll be the next Davis Webb too. Like he'll keep getting jobs. The thing, there's a little cheat code in the NFL where you can, as long as you take a quarterback coach and say that he can wear pads on Sunday, you can pay him $1 million. And every other quarter, Josh McCown is a perfect example. Davis Webb is you see Davis Webb getting contracts. He straight up said they're like, why the Bills offered to make him the quarterback coach, and he said, why would I be the quarterback coach if I could go to the Giants and be the quarterback coach for $1 million, right? Like, so that's a little cheat code. And then eventually, once they get like an offensive coordinator role and they become the next Kevin O'Connell or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I think Andy Dalton's going to hang around for a long time doing that. Right?
Yep. And to answer the fab question, I would say 12 to 15%.
Yeah.
Not
In a
a
single
lot.
QB league, you don't have to go crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I am concerned about Fields.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, go ahead. Nope.
Nope.
Is Christian Watson going to be healthy?
I think,
That's
with the
question.
short week, I think it was very good on the Packers to hold those guys out. And then they still got the win, like scoring 18 points in the fourth quarter. So I think with no Aaron Jones, no Christian Watson, no Bakhtiari, no Jair Alexander, I think it was smart to hold them out, knowing that they had a short turnaround to Thursday night, which we'll be doing a quick showdown lineup at the end of the show. But yeah, I think this might be the debut for Christian Watson this season, knowing that they have a tough divisional matchup in week 4. I would be pretty confident in saying that I think Christian Watson makes his debut this week.
Right. And I didn't want to start him against Marshawn Lattimore this week. And I'm actually happy to start him against this Lions team this week. So it goes from a situation where if he came back this week, I would have been like, but him coming back for Thursday, I'm like, yeah, let's go. Fire him up.
Yep. And I will say I was completely wrong on Jordan Love. I thought that he would be throwing those short to intermediate routes, but he is first in adjusted yards per attempt, first in fantasy points per drop back. I mean, his deep ball game has improved so much, and that is what Christian Watson absolutely thrives on. So if he does make his debut this week, it's going to be wheels up.
Yeah, I'm slightly concerned about just how many deep passes he's completed, because I do think there is some regression there, but the fact that they're letting him do that and he's taking those shots is very bullish going forward for him. So I'm a Jordan Love hater, and now I'm a Jordan Love indifferenter. I guess that's not a word, but acceptor.
Agnostic.
There you go.
Look, it's my team. I got to do what I can here. This one specifically for Coop. What role do you think Parham gets when Mike Williams is gone for the season? He's a sneaky ad now. Think he becomes a downfield threat? Look, they played more 12 personnel once Williams left the game, but I still don't think it's still a tight. It's a gross split.
Here's the problem: is this technically Parham in week 2 played more snaps than Gerald Everett. And even Stone Smart played 22 snaps, and he played a few more this week. Had a nice 24-yard catch in week 2. And the problem is how Parham is being used. So even though he plays more snaps, he still blocks on like 6-7 pass plays each week. And when you look at these touchdowns, it's more a product of the defense forgetting about him than it is him, doing anything spectacular in one-on-one or making contested catches. You're chasing touchdowns with that play, and I don't like it. To me, in most of my leagues, they're one tight end leagues, right? I start with 10 or 12 teams, and there's one tight end. There's a number of NFL teams where there just isn't a fantasy viable tight end. There's 32 NFL teams, and I'm not interested in the tight end for the Chargers. I'm not interested in any tight end on the Raiders. I'm not interested in any tight end on the Seahawks. Like, you're just with 32 teams and only 12 teams in your fantasy league, there's going to be a ton of teams where you're just not going to have any fantasy relevant tight end at all. And I'm just not interested in Gerald Everett. So how can I possibly be interested in Donald Parham?
Yeah. I will say I wrote about him in the waiver wire article, and he's not getting a ton of targets, but when he does, it counts. It's kind of like, it reminds me of Pat Freiermuth in a way, that when they are in that green zone situation, they look towards Parham, maybe because everybody forgets about him, but it's working.
But you can only get away with that for so long. Like, I just think that it's such a coin flip. It falls in the same category as Taysom Hill to me, where it's like in standard, love it. Best ball, awesome. DFS, perfect. Hopefully they keep his price low, because DFS is where if you can get the price for like 3,000 in DFS, hell yeah. But most of my leagues are half PPR or full PPR, and I just can't be taking zeros. And I just worry about that. But there is something to be said about that, Britt. I'll give you that for sure. So we don't want to just ignore him completely, but I got to see his role change. I would love for Gerald Everett to go away.
Don't we all?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, he's still not going to be a top 2 target of the team because of Austin Eckler. It's Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen. And then honestly, even if he's third, he's still kind of TD dependent. So I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is this. I want to say this. Quentin Johnston. Did you guys see what Staley said about Quentin Johnston?
I didn't.
Yeah, about the he was playing because he had guys in front of him, or he hasn't been playing.
The main reason Quentin Johnston hasn't played as much is more because of the talent they have in wide receiver, and not necessarily that he wasn't ready. And that is actually where I would rather him be talented, but like not know the plays yet.
That
because
seems
then it
more
says,
of a Staley thing than anything.
That doesn't sound good. Yeah, that means that he's not playing because. So he just straight up said he's not playing because we think Josh Palmer's better, and I don't know. Josh Palmer.
Do you know analytics, bro?
Didn't Josh Palmer just played like the entire season last year? They only had 2 games last year where Keenan Allen and Mike Williams played the whole game. So Josh Palmer, we saw plenty of Josh Palmer, and it was fine.
He's KJ Osborne.
He's KJ Osborne.
I mean,
you know
there's
what?
nothing wrong with that, but it's like empty calories.
What do you think, Britt?
Quentin Johnston just doesn't pass the eye test for me yet. I think he is very talented, but the way that he's anticipating these throws, and he's not necessarily dropping them, but he's just not like seeing them in the way that he should be in the middle of his route. I tend to lean Palmer.
You just described DJ Chark.
You're right.
You just described DJ Chase Claypool Chark, and I'm now horrified for Quentin
Let's get a Venn diagram of KJ Osborne, Quentin Johnston, DJ Chark. How many Venn diagrams can we fit?
The Venn diagram of Quentin Johnston and DJ Chark is a circle.
Yeah.
It's just the whole thing is so okay. They have KJ Osborne and DJ Chark, and I mean, if one of them's going to play more snaps, then I think I guess I want Palmer.
And then Donald Parham is Jimmy Graham.
I'm just going to add somebody else completely
Jimmy
different.
Graham's
Tank Dell.
So infuriating.
Look, if you're going out, if you need a wide receiver, like if you need production, I am totally fine with adding Josh Palmer. Like my thing with Johnston is that, there's still the mystery box unknown factor with him. And I can't see him playing over Palmer like in like week 14. Or I can't see Palmer playing over him in like week 14. And it's not going to be, it's not as cheap. It's not as expensive as Palmer. What?
Does this sway you at all? Toronto Dave asked if you know where Josh Palmer is from, and he's actually from the greater Toronto area. Does that sway you at all?
Anyone know where he went to college?
Tennessee. Yes, Tennessee.
Right? Yep. Good job.
I remember that because
we know ball, guys. We know ball.
I remember that because they specifically said they were looking for a cornerback, and they were scouting Asante Samuel and Asante Samuel Jr. who they drafted, and they kept seeing this one dude. They were looking at all these cornerbacks, and they kept seeing this one dude from Tennessee just dunking on all of them. And it turned out to be Josh Palmer. Like his quarterback was terrible. His stats weren't good, but if you go back and watch the tape, every top corner that got drafted in the first 2 rounds, Kev, the guy that the Packers took in the second round, like he was just
Stokes, or no,
Eric, yeah,
it was.
I think it's Stokes.
Georgia?
Yeah, Eric Stokes. Yeah, he's just like one-on-one, just decimating everybody. So like clearly he's got some contested catchability. It's just hasn't really materialized just yet.
No,
or ever.
Well,
and maybe that's a bad way. And maybe that's a bad way to pick players.
Well, you know what? At least we know ball. I think we can all hang our head on that. So we will get into some more of these. Actually, let's just dig into the questions here. Let's
cancel the show sheet.
Cancel the show sheet. We'll maybe do a showdown lineup at the end of the day. We have talked about everything anyway. How do you guys feel about Waller? Still top 5 tight end, but
yeah,
you know who the top 5 for me is? Kelsey, Andrews, Hawkinson, Waller, Sam Laporta.
He did it. We did it.
He's top 5. Must start.
Ladies and gentlemen,
has to be.
We got him. And the reason I have him top 5 rest of season is that you look at the other guys that we're like clinging to: Dallas Goedert, Pat Freiermuth, George Kittle, and our only fear for Sam Laporta is the return of Jameson Williams. Right? We're like, okay, well, what if he comes back and kind of messes up the distribution of things? But then I think about it and I'm like, okay, Amon-Ra St. Brown and this question mark in Jameson Williams. Is that worse than Devonta Smith and AJ Brown?
Right.
No, it's better, right? Is it worth the George Pickens and Deontay Johnson getting balls from Kenny Pickett? No, it's better. Like AJ Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey. I mean, everywhere you look, it's kind of rough. So we might as well take the mystery box, especially if he's already performing better.
He ain't no mystery anymore.
He ain't no mystery, dude. Cat's out of the bag. Dude, he was so unbelievably open. How did that happen? It's just he's just
put that defender into the shadow realm for that touchdown, by the way.
That's why we call him Sam Teleporter. Dude, he's here in 1 second, then he's gone, baby.
I love that.
Yeah.
Let's go back to let's see. Would you rather start Lawrence or Stroud this week?
Trevor Lawrence, brother.
I mean, what do we got? Houston at home versus Pittsburgh. Jacksonville versus Atlanta in our of course London.
No.
Oh, London game.
Yeah, I know. I saw it on the schedule and I'm like, already?
I thought that wasn't until next week.
That's a home game for the Jags, dude.
Oh,
it really is, though.
Oh, Britt, you know what the league is doing to the Jags? Just when you thought they couldn't force them to go out there enough, this year they said, you know what? You guys are so comfortable out there. Why don't you just stay out there? They're sending them out there this week and having them stay out there and play again in London next week. The Jags have back
Buffalo, right?
Yeah, so they're going to stay out there for 2 weeks, dude. They just live out there. Back-to-back.
Horrific.
Back-to-back overseas games.
Shad Khan owns Fulham FC, so
it honestly might give them a big advantage versus the Bills, to be honest, because they'll be out there and get acclimated to the time zone. You know, over that course of time, you know, it takes you a couple days to be jet lagged, and then they're going to be ready to rock and roll. I mean, when they come back, they'll probably get crushed by whatever team they play back here, but you know.
That schedule is brutal for a team going out there. Like just the day-to-day, hour-to-hour, like that scheduling, having to do like walkthroughs in a hotel ballroom. Like it is some wild stuff. I forget who like laid out everything, but they like said that if they had a choice, they'd never play in London.
I think it was
I want to say Arians, but
there was a coach said it, and then I think it was like Reggie Wayne or somebody was like, I'll retire. He's like, I'm not going. Like when they first said they were going to do him, one of the older wide receivers is like, no, like I'm not doing that.
I just the food situation alone would just completely dissuade me from staying in London for any amount of time. I don't think they're going to get enough calories on their beans and toast to.
You can't have fish and chips. You can only have fish and chips so many times, right?
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
When I was there, the fish and chips was actually
good.
All right, we're not getting on a crab cake Benedict.
No. Traditional fish and chips, like awesome. Can't beat it. We are not talking about crab Benedict as much as I would like to, and derail this entire thing. Who won this trade? Damian Pierce and Kirk Cousins' team has Hurts for Mark Andrews and Justice Hill. Best player of the deal is Mark Andrews. So
yeah, Justice Hill. What's he going to be though? Damian Pierce. The thing is, for Damian Pierce, you got to be really concerned after this week because if there was ever a game script that should have been a Damian Pierce script, it was this one. But it was like, how many issues are there going to be where it's like, okay, if they're losing, then they go with Mike Boone or Devin Singletary. So it's not a Damian Pierce game. But if they're winning by too much, then they also go with the backup running backs and spread it out. So like you need a very specific game script for Damian Pierce to be good, which is like the Texans are winning by a little bit, but it's close enough that you still got to use your best players. It's like, how often is that going to happen?
Right. Like Damian Pierce is a really good fantasy pick. If this happens, it's in the autumnal equinox. It's on the third Sunday, at 46 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right. He makes for fun highlights, I will say, but
yes,
they don't get fantasy points for angry runs.
Yep. Dylan, you're that's a lot of reading. Did not come here to read, but you know what? We'll make the.
I can't even read.
Who would you trade out of my wide receivers? Well,
it depends on who you want. Like what are you looking to do on your team?
Right. Yeah. Some more context. I would say it's just we'll
You didn't even list your Oh, he's got Andrews. If I was going to trade someone away,
I wouldn't buy low on either of
I would
those.
try and trade Khalil Herbert.
Yeah,
That's
and I
who.
wouldn't buy
That's what I
low
would
on.
trade.
There's no real buy low on Kyron Williams or Damian Pierce right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't feel
Khalil
good about
Herbert
it.
for Damian Pierce is like just
It's lateral.
swapping your blue shirt for your like light blue shirt. It's the same.
It's
Right.
like that meme
Right.
of the teacher going to class every day, has basically the same outfit
Yeah,
every time he
Spider-Man.
walks into class. That's what
I
that
actually
trade's
love
like.
that. I love that, dude. That guy. The Spider-Man pointing meme there. So yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't go crazy doing it. I like your team. You have a good team.
Yeah. What point are you comfortable starting Laporta over Waller? I think that's pretty good.
Right now,
I think you could make the case either way there.
I think right now you
based on
just
the
say
offense looking better. Give me Laporta, but you can make
Yeah.
the case for Waller too.
you play matchups, right? So, Kev, any update on Devondre Campbell? If Devondre Campbell's out this week, then Laporta is going to be a smash spot. If Campbell, it can kind of be a hassle for the tight end, and then
Yeah, he was a DNP on the estimated report for Monday. So,
and for the again with the Seahawks, it's always the same thing, right? Jamal Adams,
I think is getting closer, but I don't know if he plays.
Right. So you just
He's already said that he's playing.
There you go.
Yeah, it came out yesterday that he's going to make his debut, but a quad injury, especially a quad tear, is pretty severe. So
That's gnarly.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to
He gets
see
hurt
him
every
like
year,
on a
dude.
snap count. Yeah, like some crazy injury, either a broken ankle, a torn quad, some kind of freak situation that
What he
always happens
needs-
with him.
What he needs like a hand transplant. How many times has that dude dropped? Insane.
Right.
The number. I think. How many interceptions does that guy even have? I think Troy Brown has the same number of interceptions as him. Like he just can't.
Mike Furry.
He can't catch the football, dude. It's crazy.
No.
Crazy. I guess that's why he plays defense.
Braves Fed 527, the Twitch gang chiming in here. Should I start Christian Kirk versus Falcons Dave Flowers? Josh Reynolds versus the Packers.
Gotta get the Twitch gang shades on, baby. Let's go. My wife, I got a new desk, and my wife was like, "Do you need all these sunglasses?" It's like,
if anything, I don't have enough.
Shout out Twitch gang, baby.
I love that. That's excellent.
Got my Twitch gang glasses. These are my Miami hangover glasses for the players that stink when they play Miami because they're out all night partying. What else we got? So what was the question again?
Oh my gosh. I would say
Kirk, Flowers, or Reynolds.
Flowers.
It's Flowers.
Josh Reynolds, dude. Holy no show. Like I know he was going up against AJ Terrell, but god damn. Me and Mpemba told a bunch of people to start Josh Reynolds. Apologies on that one, dude. He all exercise captain.
Big oof. Well, I mean, he's no Nick Westbrook-Akine, but
he's no Josh Palmer.
He might be getting the Lifetime Achievement Award by like week 7, by the way.
The all-time greatest is definitely
Jalen Guyton.
Ian Thomas, dude.
Jalen Guyton, I would argue Jalen Guyton.
Ian Thomas's yards per route run that one year was like 0.04. It was crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna differentiate and say Kirk, but that's me.
I can make a case either way. Don't hate it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Britt, but
that's
Scott needed to know this question. I believe if you threw a flag, this would be targeting.
I think that's
No, it's my first day back, Scott. What are you doing with the tough questions, dude?
I do have the ability to put the time out on YouTube, but I'm a nice guy and I won't do that.
No, he's fine.
I will say be better.
I love Scott. I will say, and this is very, very tough for me to admit, that offense as a whole, I don't necessarily know that I would say drop him, but you can't start him until he provides more than anything more consistent than a downfield play. And until now, that's what Tannehill has looked horrible. That offensive line has looked horrible. Their run game can't get off the ground. I mean, that entire offense is discombobulated. I'm still telling myself that this is not due to the talent or lack thereof of Burks, that it's just that offense. But yeah.
The other part is he's been dealing with the knee. And like when you have something like that and you take away the physicality from a player like this, you take away a whole part of his game. Like, imagine if you take Deebo Samuel and you just take away the physicality. That's like half of what he does is just be this like bulldozer. And Britt, you know it. Traylon Burks, he can do the end arounds, right? You get him the ball in space and he runs people over. Like, this guy's like, what is he, 6'2", 225? Like, that's a huge part of his game that we saw in college. How many carries did he get in college, Britt? Right? Like, he had like a ton. And when you've got this knee issue and this lack of creativity, you're not using an entire part of his game that is arguably the biggest part.
He has 1 carry so far in 2020.
Right. If you were just going to throw regular passes down the sideline to Deebo Samuel, he would not be that great of a player. It's the other things that the player does. And if he's got a knee issue, then you can't really lean into this. You can't tell this guy to go out and just, smash the way he should. So I think Burks has better days ahead.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, let's get off of Tennessee. We could probably talk about them for like another hour here. So things we didn't see coming, like as far as weeks 1 through 3. We've talked about the Dolphins ad nauseum, but Britt, like one thing you didn't see coming, like in the first 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah, just kick me when I'm down. No, I'm kidding. But no, I think I guess maybe the Cardinals trying.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm just really down on the fact that Dallas just got like mopped by their offense and Josh Dobbs and, a bunch of backups. But I feel like I did not anticipate them actually being as efficient as they have been. Like, they've kept all 3 of these games very close.
Yeah.
They've almost caused an upset in a couple. I did not anticipate them trying more for James Conner to succeed.
For sure. I mean, when I look at the teams when they were tanking, a lot of these teams, like when they were losing on purpose, the Dolphins is the best example. They were basically running like live tryouts out there. They would go out and have Isaiah Ford would play 60 snaps, and then the next week he would be released. And then they would use Preston Williams to play the whole game, and they'd say, okay, Preston, we like you. And then they'd put him aside a little bit and try out another guy. And it would be Salvin Ahmed one day and Myles Gaskin the next day and Patrick Laird the next day. Shout out Pete Overzet. Like, they would just keep running guys through and trying different guys out. That's not what the Cardinals are doing, right, Britt? They're using James Conner. They're running James Conner like they want to win. They were firing the ball at their Zach Ertz instead of using Trey McBride. They're using Marquise Brown and Rondale Moore and Michael
in the backfield. That touchdown by Rondale Moore.
Exactly. You would think that you would see them like mixing in Keontae Ingram and all these other guys and say, hey, you know what? We're not going to win this year, so let's find out who's going to be part of this team moving forward. And they're actually not doing that. They're saying, let's win right now. I don't know why they would do that, because they're not going to win the Super Bowl, and it's in their best interest to lose. But hey, you know what?
The professionals out there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got more Twitch gang in the chat, dude. Shout out Twitch crew. What up,
I am a bit worried that Jonathan Gannon will go full Texans Lovie Smith with this and almost ruin their chances of getting Caleb Williams. Right now, it's looking like the Bears have a 38% chance right now with like the 2 picks to be the first overall pick.
Remember when Adam?
We still don't even know if Caleb Williams is going to come out.
He might
not. Think he wants to play for one of these teams. So you're tanking for what?
Remember when Adam Gase started winning
Harrison?
games? When Adam Gase started winning games, so the Jets had to be like, "You're fired, dude." Like, you, we were going to wait until the season was over to fire you, but we have to fire you right now because you're ruining. You're already going to be fired, but you're ruining the future of this organization by winning these games for no reason at all, right? So crazy. I remember the Cardinals did that one year, and it was like a miraculous toe drag catch in the back of the end zone.
Nate Poole.
Game.
You talk about the Nate Poole against the Vikings to knock them out of the playoffs and put the Packers in the playoffs.
And put the Packers in the playoffs.
He got the key to the city of Green Bay.
Right. And the Cardinals went from having the first pick to like the 3rd pick because of that stupid, like the amazing toe drag touchdown.
You know who threw that pass, by the way? Josh McCown.
Was it? Blackhawk McCown?
Yep.
Let's go, dude.
Anquan Bolden's rookie season. I watched that video back a couple weeks ago, and I completely blanked that. Like, I'm like, Anquan Bolden was on that team? Like, that was his rookie season where he balled out.
Yeah. Anquan Bolden played until he was like 37 years old.
Right. He was like, they were pushing him down the field just to get down the field.
So my biggest surprise, we don't have a lot of time, so I'm just going to say the fact that the Vikings don't have any wins yet is surprising to me, and it still is.
Doesn't matter.
right? Yeah.
It
it's
literally
like,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's like that. I think they're still going to be just fine. But I mean, if you had asked me before I even looked at the standings this morning, I would have been like, yeah, Vikings won a game. Oh, they beat and then I would have been like, wait a second.
That one guy.
No, they beat that one team. Like when I woke up this morning, if you had asked me how many wins the Vikings had, I probably would have said 2. But the fact that they have, when I was looking at the standings, I was like, wait a second, they haven't won a single game. That's crazy. I still think they're a good team, so they'll be fine.
And the fact that Kirk Cousins is currently the QB1, and they
That's awesome.
still have not won a single damn game.
That's fantasy.
Whew.
That's fantasy, baby.
Yep.
Love
Speaking of fantasy, let's talk about just some of these waiver wire guys real quick, and then we'll do a quick showdown lineup, and I think we'll be good here. So I think, we talked about Devon Achane. Want to make sure I get that right, but toothpaste is out of the two.
Achane. I'm going to go on record right now saying Achane. I don't care how it's really pronounced. That sounds way cool.
Wow, that's a stand.
It sounds cooler. It just sounds cooler.
Well, it's like Dobbs versus Dubs.
Chain, like Chan, Achane.
4chan.
Chain.
No.
Chain. That's what I want, baby. No Chan.
You don't get paid to sing.
Britt.
None of us do.
Britt sings
Britt does. Britt
does.
No.
Come on.
No.
Sing us a song.
No.
If you don't sing, I will sing. If you don't sing, we'll get Scott Frankel on here to sing. And
my voice is not in any kind of shape.
Rain check. See you next. We'll do that next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your voice is like CMC, where like 50% of your voice is still way better than me or Ken. Right? My voice is Joshua Kelly. Like you could give my voice every chance, and it's just not going to be. It's not going to produce.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
No, sorry, Frankel. Those are the rules. You got to come on and sing us a song. What song? Everyone in the chat, if you had to sing a song on this show, what song would it be?
Bye, Lil Sebastian.
Beautiful. 10,000 Candles in the Wind.
Hell yeah.
I think that we asked the karaoke guy at the expo if he had Bye Bye Sebastian on his rotation. Yeah. So waivers. Focus. Concentrate.
So we've talked about Achane, whatever, however you say it. We talked about Quentin Johnston, talked about Palmer. Like, who are some other guys? Let's like Coop. I know you got a couple guys that.
Yeah, so I got deeper. I figured you guys would be coming in with the hot picks. But
we
I
got
know
the chalk.
A lot of our guys a lot of our gamers are sharp. So in leagues like that, like Achane's already, you're not just going to pick up a guy like that. You're not going to pick up Elijah Mitchell. Some deeper leagues, you got to be looking at Zach Charbonnet, right? Mm-hmm. Kev, you have a lot of him in best ball, and the whole plan, of course, was for him to carve out some sort of role, right? There's essentially, for high leverage spots, there's first down, right? Just the fact that you get called out there on first down necessitates that you will get more touches and more plays. Just a fact of the matter, right? Goal line. We always talk about that. I'm not going to hit the bingo square on the pass interference in the end zone, but goal line is a big one. And 2-minute drill. If you can get the 2-minute drill snaps, you will get all the snaps, right? Because you can't substitute those guys out. There's no time. You need to know all the audibles. You need to know all the schemes, all the plays. And turns out Zach Charbonnet this week might have stolen that role. He was getting some pass work. This week he played all the 2-minute drill snaps. If he can have that role, that is crucial, because if you get one of those snaps, you're going to get them all. So give me a little Charbonnet in some deep leagues.
Yep. I don't know if Charbonnet is really available in that many leagues, though, because I was going to include him in my waiver wire article, and it seemed like he was already rostered in a very high percentage. But I will say, if he is available in your league, he was more efficient than Kenneth Walker by basically all the metrics. He got that goal line work. I mean, his role is going to be expanded as the season goes on. So get ahead of the curve if he's out there and scoop him up.
Yeah, I'm like, here's a deep league guy, Jalen Waddle. All right, here is one though that you can stash. Luke Musgrave. This is now the third week in a row that he has either led the team or tied for the lead on the team in routes run. And you got to take week 2 and throw it away, because they only ran 52 offensive plays. League average is 65. And as you see with some of these games, even non-overtime games, the Colts this week ran 84 offensive plays. And Michael Pittman played all 84 because he's a psycho. But like that, so if you run a 52 game week like week 2, that's a buy low window. This week they come out, run like an above average number of plays. He gets like 8 targets. So yeah, I'm in. Obviously, you have to hold him and see what happens with Christian Watson. But right now, I mean, he's running the routes, baby.
Yeah, he's on pace for like 87 targets right now. Like,
Love it.
What are we doing?
Juice that up just a little bit, and now he has top 5 upside. All you need in this world is 90 targets or 10 plus touchdowns. That's the game.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Want to build a showdown lineup here, gang?
Yeah.
Well, I just want to bring up that Seller says that Achane isn't available in anything.
That's not true.
Not true.
It's like 16%.
In leagues. So yes, Sellers, he is available, even
Shut
if
it,
he's
Sellers.
not available in our leagues.
He's not available in sicko leagues where I'm the one drafting like Travion Williams, but
Right.
you know,
That's
like,
right.
in
Cram it, Sellers.
Yeah. Cram it your cram hole, LaFleur. All right. So we got a couple minutes here. What do we want to do, gang? We want to
immediately put slot guys in as fast as possible because we don't have a lot of time.
I'm like, Sammy Laporte is the captain.
Laporte.
Well, week 1. Well, I did that week 1 and cashed. So I mean,
that's going to be a hot play, hot trap play.
Is this a 4-2 build?
Probably
4 Lions, 2 Packers build. This feels like it.
I'm on Ross St. Brown. They say it's not turf toe, but he looked kind of turf toe-y out there this week. I don't know.
It did look turf toe-y.
Goff and St. Brown locked in.
Who's our ringer? That's where you got to start, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know who our ringer
Jason
is?
Kabinda. Let's start Let's start an injured fullback.
No.
Okay.
I know it's
That's
fullback
expensive.
season around here.
Man, I was gonna put Dontavian Wicks in there, but $5K is expensive. I thought he'd be 200.
All these players stink, dude. We might have to start a kicker.
Honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to starting a kicker.
I think we might have to because we're not going to start.
Are we going to
down
double
for
tight end it?
Carlson indoors.
Patrick Taylor.
I can go with Carlson.
Yeah,
I don't mind Carlson. I would say Aaron Jones should be back. That's a lot of salary, though.
Go with Carlson.
I feel like Jordan Love is got to be in there.
Laporta, Jordan Love, Goff.
It's going to squeeze us on our salary, but
we're in trouble already. All right, well, then we can start. Oh,
we put in Carlson. We got 1,600.
Wait, if you start Luke Musgrave
for
over St. Brown.
Wait, yeah, you got to get somebody out. You can't.
I would say Musgrave.
Yeah, that puts us at 3 Packers, though. If we wanted,
yeah, I'm okay with that.
3 and 3, and then 6,800. That gets us to Montgomery. And no, I don't even know if he's playing.
Josh
I would
Reynolds
like to fit
Jane Reed.
Does Jair Alexander go in the slot? Like, is he going to cover Amon-Ra St.
Not
Brown?
really. No.
Oh my God! So Josh Reynolds just going to get beat up again, second week in a row.
Probably. Oh man,
well, he's the best. He's the most affordable player for what we have left in our budget.
I know.
This team stinks.
Yeah, I'm not in love with it. Not loving it.
Take
how much if we swap out Laporta and Musgrave?
No, if we take Jordan. Oh wait, make Musgrave the captain.
Yeah, like be real contrarian.
Get Muskrat in there at the top. Let's go.
Muskrat.
It's not even that much cheaper than.
Is it not? Yeah, that's what I wanted to see. Wasn't sure.
Why can't I move him to captain? Oh, you got it.
Oh, look at that. Here we go. Here's contrarian.
Yeah.
Marvin Jones, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh.
Marvin Jones sucks, dude.
He does suck, but he's $1,000.
Better than Reynolds.
Yeah.
Is he?
No. Well.
I mean, maybe when you face Jair Alexander, I mean, if they're just going to, I'm like, what the hell?
I think he probably sees more of Sewell Douglas than anything, but.
Put it in. What are we putting on this? $200?
We're going to tinker with this.
We'll tinker. This is the shell. This is the shell right now. But look, gang, we're through 1/6 of the NFL season already, and it feels like we just started. And don't cry that that it's gone. Just be happy that it happened.
Exactly.
You got to treasure these weeks.
Yep. And if we didn't get to your questions, pop on over to the Fantasy Alarm Discord. We'll get you answered over there. And check out the All Pro while you're over there.
Yeah. 7 days. 7 days free.
Yep. Can't beat it. And then stick with us here too, because of course, Alarm Fantasy Football is next. So if you got questions that were not answered, go ask him over there. Then Howard will tell you that you're super smart for doing so.
We got the legendary JB Berry coming on to talk about his hot new article. I check it out every single week. He goes through all the matchups, wide receivers, cornerbacks, the whole deal. So he's coming on to talk about that with us next show. So hang tight with us. It's going to be fun.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Perf, as the kids say. All right, we are out of here. For Andrew Cooper, for Britt Flinn, I'm Kevin Tompkins. Someone else say
Toodles.
Toodles.